Hi, welcome to the Space Vehicle Mock-Up Facility in Building 9 at the Johnson Space Center, where we are here with Bill Todd, who is the mission manager for our NEEMO mission. Bill, why don't you tell us what NEEMO is? I know it's an acronym, but it's long.
It is. It's an embedded acronym, actually. So it's NASA Extreme Environment Mission Operations, named after the famous Captain Nemo.
And there's a reason that it's NEEMO, right?
Oh yeah, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Big fan of Jules Verne and all that, admittedly.
Okay, and this mission is under the sea. So.
Absolutely, it is. So this is our 16th NEEMO mission that NASA's been doing. So we just started training this week for the mission, and the mission is in June of this year, in about 6 weeks from now.
Okay, and so y'all will go, obviously we're not underwater now, but y'all will go down to Florida, and the astronauts that are involved,
right.
We've got a crew of 4 actually.
We're
going to go down below the sea and do what?
Well, we have a crew of 4, like you said, 4 from NASA, 3 are astronauts, and 1 other researcher with NASA. And we have 2 people that are members of the National Undersea Research Center, professionals. So we have 6 people on the crew. And in our mission in June, we're going to focus on an underwater mission that simulates what it's like to travel to work and operate on an asteroid.
Okay, then I guess that's kind of a new and interesting question for NASA. What all are we looking at?
It really is. It's we've done 1 more of these missions. Earlier in October, we did one that had a little bit of weather that we had to deal with, so that was okay. So we're coming back at it again. We've iterated a few things, and we're going to deal primarily with the concepts, tools of developing ways to live and work on these asteroids. And it's a little bit tricky. NASA's never worked in a place where there's total absence of gravity on a surface itself. So it's challenging.
Yeah, lots of new things for us to work on.
Oh yeah, lots of new tools.
So what are we doing here this week?
So, well, we started the training this week for the crew, and what we like to do is we like to give classroom briefings about everything that they need to learn and how to live in this undersea environment, because it's more than just the space mission, it's also how to live and work in an undersea environment, which is new for them. So and there's a lot of procedures that you have to follow to be safe there. So what we're doing here today in this facility in Building 9 is we're learning about what it's like and what it feels like to work on a device that can keep you in a zero gravity state. So on this device you have nothing, what we call ground reaction force. Okay? So you don't feel your feet on the surface because it's a loss of gravity, total absence of gravity. So what we're doing here that you can see, and you can see the crew member there, Steve Squires, is that he's learning what it feels like to have absence of gravity and what the tools feel like to work with on the surface of an asteroid.
And I guess that's one of the reasons you're going to do this underwater as well, as the absence of gravity?
Right, that's the primary reason that underwater is so good, because we can weigh the crew out exactly to zero gravity. So when they leave the habitat, they're living in a habitat, an undersea habitat, so they're getting the feel of the dynamic of what it's like to live in this extreme environment. They're living there, working there, and then when it's time to do an extravehicular activity, our EVA, our spacewalk, sometimes it gets confusing because it's really a sea walk, but when they go out the door and they go into the ocean, they're doing these EVAs in this zero gravity environment and duplicating the types of tasks that we'll have to do on an asteroid.
Okay, and I guess you have to train for that just like you do for a regular space station mission, so that's what this week is about.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about, to try to understand the techniques for them, but it's also a chance for our engineers and our scientists to try to figure out what tools are appropriate and how we would do the operational techniques. We're not going to answer what an anchor would look like here. That's not the point. We're early in the game of trying to figure this out, but we're trying to figure out what concepts make sense.
So we're almost kind of practicing for the practicing here. So
fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I know that we are going to hopefully talk with you a few more times during the actual mission. So we'll get updates on how that actually turns out. That's going to be June 11th through 22nd. And we'll have lots more to come on that, but in the meantime we're also going to be talking with one of the crew members who is in training this week coming up next.